So today we're going to talk about estimating, and we're going to use our rounding skills. Thumbs up if, or show me with your thumbs how you feel about rounding. Remember, we round to the nearest 10 or round to the nearest 100. We're still kind of there. Selena, are you with our lesson? Or are you texting? What are you doing? What's that? How do you feel about rounding? Have you been rounding? So if I say, Selena, round 57 to the nearest 10, you can tell me? I can't hear you.
I forgot all about that lesson all last year.
All last year? This was like 2 weeks ago. Not even that.
All last year.
Oh my gosh.
By your desk, and we was rounding. It was so easy. But now I'm in freaking third grade. Now I got to round again.
We didn't even round last year. Rounding starts in third grade. You're full of beans. Okay, so what is this screen you have over here? I feel like there's something else happening. Are you watching a movie? Are you chatting with Savannah or friends or something? What's happening? Savannah's kind of with me. She's like laying down in her bed though, so I'm kind of wondering if Savannah's gonna doze off here in a little bit. I know Athena and Charlotte are with me because they're like in their chairs and they're watching and they're attentive, but you and like Selena look like you're about
I was
to have
just
a
in my
party.
chair. I got it because it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, but you don't want to get too comfortable that you fall asleep.
I'm not gonna fall asleep because I have
Better not, or I'm gonna come to that house and wake you up.
Extra high.
Wake you up. I'll be pounding on the door. Savannah needs to get up. She fell asleep in our lesson.
You said the lesson now, so I got on the lesson.
Okay, just stay awake.
I am
trying
my
and Selena, are you paying attention?
Yes,
You're
but
not
I'm trying
watching Frozen in the background, are you?
No,
Frozen 2?
I am in the bed. That's why.
Okay, well, get up out of the bed. Just sit up. Don't want to go crazy on the screen. Have I started recording? I started recording. Everybody's going to see this madness. Uh-oh, I froze. That was a lot of energy. I had to freeze over that one. All right, let's start.
Cool. I need to get out the bed.
So remember, if we're rounding to the nearest 10, that means we're rounding to the nearest 10. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 0. And sometimes it might round up to 100. If you have 98 and you need to round to the nearest 10, guess what? You're going to round to 100.
Selena, what are you doing?
If we round to the nearest 100, that means we're rounding to the nearest 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900. And guess what? If you have 995 and you're rounding to the nearest 100, what would it round to? 995 rounded to the nearest 100 would round to what? Anybody? Charlotte?
Mia, be right back. My mother wants me. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it's 1,000.
Yes, it would round to 1,000.
Also, Miss Brenda.
Savannah?
Your question to Selena, it's 60.
Yes. Yes. So let's just dive into the lesson. Savannah, are you with us? I feel like you're like distracted by a screen. Savannah, what are you looking at? What is that in front of you? Is it your phone? Do I need to come over and bang on the door and say, Savannah needs to put her phone away when she's in a lesson with me? Come on, Savannah, seriously. You're not going to be paying any attention. You're not going to get any of this. You might as well just log off and then put the covers over your head and go to sleep. Seriously. Can you like focus, be with us, please? I know it's difficult. This is different. You're in home and you're in your bed and you're comfy and cozy, but I need you to pay attention. Thank you, darling.
I'm up now.
Awesome. That is progress. All right, and Selena's sitting up. All right, we're ready to go. Here we go. I'm going to share my screen. Estimating sums. Oops. Right here it is, estimating sums. Everybody can see my screen? All right. So how can place value help me add larger numbers? So when you do not need an exact number, a word such as about is sometimes used. You can find an estimate instead. An estimate is a number close to the exact number. Problem 1. The board shop sold 342 snowboards and 637 pairs of boots in the last year. About how many snowboards and pairs of boots did they sell altogether? So there's that magic word, about. About tells us that we don't have to add exactly, that we can find a number close to it. And we're going to do that by rounding. So when estimating, you can round to the nearest 10 or 100. And they're going to have us do both to see what our two different answers are. So first way, we're going to round to the hundreds, round to the hundreds place. So they highlighted our hundreds place. We have 342 here. This is our hundreds place. But we look at our tens place to tell us if how we're going to round. If we're going to stay on the floor we're on, which, oops, I can't circle it, can I? Are we going to stay on the 300 floor, or are we going to go up to the 400 floor? So what's our rule? 1 through 4, you stay on the floor. 5 through 9, you climb the vine. So 342 is going to round to what, Athena?
300.
300. 637. We have 6 in the hundreds place and 3 in the tens place. So 637 rounded to the nearest 100 would be what? What do you think, Savannah? 637 rounded to the nearest 100 would be what? You're looking to see, is it between 600, which is the floor we're on, or 700? It is, I mean, it's between 600 and 700, but what is it closer to? Is 637 closer to 700 or 600? You look at your tens place to tell you. You want it up here? Shh. Selena, can you help her?
700.
Well, if we had a 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9 in the tens place, it's going to stay on the floor we're on. It's going to stay on the 600th floor. Oops.
I meant that, but I had put a 7.
Oh, okay. So yes, it'll be 600. So now we can add quickly. 300 plus 600 is what, everyone? 900.
Oh, man, I was going to say it.
Well, good. I mean, you can say it like, if you want to keep yourself unmuted, as long as there's not like a lot of background noise and you can just call it out, that's cool too. So to the nearest 100, the board shop sold about 900 snowboards and pairs of boots. All right, so there's our first estimate. Another way is to round to the tens place. So we're going to need to round 342 to the nearest 10, which means here's our tens place. And we're going to look at our ones place to tell us if we're going to stay on the floor we're on or we're going to go up. So 342 will round to what, Charlotte?
It would round to, oh no, I forgot my answer.
Athena?
400.
Now you're rounding to the nearest tens place. That means your answer is going to be
40, 40, 40.
40. There you go. Oh, I see what you're, yep, 340. Yep. And 637 is going to round to what? Charlotte?
630.
We have a 7 in the ones place.
Oh, sorry. I was looking at the 3. 640.
Yes. And now let's add. 340 plus 640 is
700, 800, 900. This number 4 is 8, so that's 9.
Say it out loud if you got it.
980. 980.
980. So to the nearest 10, the board shop sold about 980 snowboards and boots. So you have more than one good estimate. But it does make a bit of a difference, obviously, if we're rounding to the nearest 10 or 100. Okay? Example 2. A board game has $4,140 in play money. About how much money would there be if 2 games were put together? So we would be adding, we're going to estimate 4,140 plus 4,140, and we're rounding to the nearest 100. So they already did this first one for us. They said 4,140 would round to $4,100. So what are we adding? 4,100 plus 4,140 rounded to the nearest 100 is what? The same thing. I guess I could put my comma. So $4,100 plus $4,100 equals Charlotte.
$8,200.
$8,200. So the two games have about $8,200 in play money. I hope my dog isn't going to go poop again. All right. At times, you may not be told to which place to round a number, so you can round to the greatest place. So if it doesn't tell you round to the nearest 10 or 100, then round to the greatest place, which would be the hundreds place. That's as high as we've learned. You can round to the nearest 1,000, but we haven't done that yet, so don't worry about that. Next year, 4th grade is for rounding to the nearest 1,000. Example 3. So this is not in the year of a pandemic, because we would not be having this many visitors to the White House, especially with President having coronavirus. But another year, on Tuesday, the White House had 219 visitors. The following day, there were 694 visitors. About how many people visited the White House over 2 days? So they didn't tell us what to round to, but we know we have to estimate because of what magic word in that sentence. Who remembers the magic word that tells us that we're going to need to estimate? Everybody say it out loud together. It is about how many? When you see about how many or about, you know you are going to estimate, and you're going to estimate by rounding. So the greatest place of each number is the what place? What's the greatest place? Not Disney World. What's the greatest place of the number? Charlotte?
100.
The hundreds place. Okay. The greatest place of each number is the hundreds place. Round to this place. All right. So 219 rounded to the nearest 100. So we're looking at our tens place, the number in our tens place, to tell us if we're going to stay on the floor we're on or round up. Selena, 219, rounded to the nearest hundred. How would we do that? Selena, are you frozen? Selena's frozen in repose. Savannah, can you help me round 219 to the nearest hundred? Remember, our answers rounded to the nearest hundred will end 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000. 219 is between what two hundreds? It's between 200 and 300. And Selena's gone. Hold on, I'm going to stop sharing and see if she tries to get back on. There she is. There you are. Okay, Selena, we're rounding 219 to the nearest hundred. And Savannah's helping me. So if we see a 1 in the tens place, Savannah, are we going to stay on the 200th floor, or are we going to go up to the 300th floor if we have a 1 in the tens place?
Miss Brenda.
1, 4, hit the floor. So 1 through 4, we're going to stay on the floor we're on, which is the 200th floor.
Okay.
So 219 would round to?
219 round to 219 round. 219 round.
Charlotte?
200.
200. Okay. Hey, Savannah and Selena, I want you two to go back. I'll try to figure out how to reassign it to you. I want you two to like practice rounding, okay? Because I never saw that work from you, so I'm kind of wondering if you ever did it.
I did mine.
Okay.
I just didn't know how to post it.
All right. Well, yeah. Then you need to reach out to me if you need help like getting it to me, because I have no idea like that you're practicing. So we gotta figure this out some way, guys. Because math keeps building on itself. So we are using the rounding to estimate and add. If you don't know how to round, then you're not going to be able to estimate, right? That's okay. I mean, it's just we want to make sure that you get the rounding. So, Savannah, would it be helpful if you hopped off and maybe got on the rounding lesson and did that? Would that be helpful to you?
I didn't see no rounding lesson.
Okay, I will reassign it to you because it was a little while ago, so it might have got buried. But I will, I won't be able to do it right at this moment, but look for it this afternoon, okay? Don't worry, it's okay.
No, my eye itchy.
Okay, good. So I want you to, there's a fun game too to practice with the rounding, and you'll get really good at it, okay? And Selena, you said you're cool with rounding. You did it, you just didn't turn it into me, right? And my dog pooped again, by the way. I know. So I have to sit here until I'm able to go clean it up and smell it.
Inside?
Yes. We live on the second floor, so I put down papers and he goes in the kitchen if I'm like busy or something. He just goes and takes care of it. Now he's scratching his bottom on the under the side of the coffee table yet again. It's an eventful day. All right. But you're welcome to hang out, Savannah, and see how to do this, okay? But I'll reassign that this afternoon, and I want you to focus on that, okay?
I guess I'll just get off and do it again.
Do you know how to round? Are you comfortable rounding? There's no shame. I want you guys to like, know how to do this stuff is all. So if you haven't done it yet and you don't know, it's okay. You just got to do it. All right. So Selena, Savannah, if you two, you're welcome to stay and watch the rest of this lesson, or if you want to hop off and work on something else until I can reassign that to you later, okay? Your choice.
I'm gonna stay on.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so we're rounding 694 to the nearest 100. So we're looking at our tens place. We have a 9 in the tens place. And I can tell you right now that 9, we're going to round up. We've got to go to the next 100.
Get off the meeting.
If you, I mean, Selena, we're going through this. If you don't know how to round, then there's not much point like going through this with us. You could watch it, but I'm just saying like you're definitely going to need to practice rounding first because we're using rounding to estimate. All right. So up to you, but we're moving on. So Charlotte, what is 694 going to round to?
700.
700. So 200 plus 700 is, Savannah?
200 plus 700 is going to be 900.
900. So about 900 people visited the White House over 2 days. Okay, yay. So estimate, round each atom to the indicated place value on your paper. So now gonna give you some time to figure this out on your own. Hopefully you have paper there. You're gonna add 312 plus 27, but you're estimating it. So that means they're telling us that we're gonna round to the nearest tens. So you're not actually gonna add 312 plus 27, you're gonna add the rounded 312 plus 27. Okay, does that make sense? Do you guys know what you're gonna do? So you're gonna add, you're gonna round 312 to the nearest 10, and you're gonna round 27 to the nearest 10, and then you're gonna add those two numbers together, okay? So I'm gonna give you 1 minute to do that on your own, and I'm gonna run over here real quick and clean up the poop in the kitchen so I don't have to keep smelling it. And when I come back, we'll be ready to share, okay? Charlotte, you have a question? All right, I'm gonna hop off real quick. I'll be right back. Yes, Athena, exactly. Hey, don't do that. You, go lay down. All right. That's better. That me, Dan? Oh. All right, you guys ready? All right. Okay, Charlotte, what are we adding first of all? Tell us what we've got what plus what?
We're adding 30 plus 300.
So 30, yep, 27 rounded to the nearest 10 would be 30. 312 rounded to the nearest 10 is actually going to be 310. So sometimes it helps, like if you have a number in the hundreds and they ask you to round to the nearest 10, sometimes I cover up that 100 because, so you could think of it like what's 12 rounded to the nearest 10? 12 rounded to the nearest 10 is 10. So the answer would be 310. So 310 plus 30 is 340. All right, did anybody start working on number 2? You're gonna add 383 plus 122, except you're rounding those two numbers to the nearest 100. And then you're gonna add it down here, right? So what's 383 rounded to the nearest 100 and what's 122 rounded to the nearest 100? Athena, do you know 383 rounded to the nearest 100? No. Charlotte again. So if we're not sure, so the 3 is in the hundreds place, so we're looking to see, is 383 going to round to 300 or 400? And we look at the number in the tens place to tell us if we're staying on the floor or we're rounding up. So what do you think, Athena?
Rounding up.
We're rounding up to
400.
400. Yes. So 400 plus what, Charlotte? What's 122?
100 makes 500.
Exactly. 400 plus 100 makes 500. Because Charlotte saw that there was a 2 in the tens place, and that told her she's going to stay on the hundredths floor. All right. All right. Try number 3 on your own.
No, it's not me.
Oh, buddy. He just bonked his head real hard. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh. No, you can't sit in my lap. No. You guys scoot over. Scoot over. You guys scoot over. Move. Oh, baby. Move. Okay. Oh, Ellington's waiting. Okay, anybody got number 3? Use your paper. 34 rounded to the nearest 10. So it's going to be between 30 and 40. We look in our ones place. We have 4 in the ones place. So 34 rounds to what, Charlotte?
30.
30. And 23 rounds to what?
I was actually raising my hand because I knew the answer.
All right. Well, what's 23 round to? Charlotte?
20.
20, which equals?
50.
Yes, $50. And I'm going to go ahead and write that. Oh, divisadas. Oh, I did that. Don't want to forget our dollar signs. All right. 636 plus 27, rounded to the nearest 10. Remember, just kind of put your thumb over that 600 because you're going to forget about that for a minute and look at 36. 36 rounded to the nearest 10. Savannah, you want to give it a try?
I'm still trying to figure out how to.
All right. Well, 36. So yeah, that's why it's like good to watch that lesson because I don't have my whiteboard here. But yeah, I show, it goes into a lot more in depth on how to round. So Charlotte, 636 is going to round to what?
640.
640. Because Charlotte saw there was a 6 in the units place and she knows the rhyme 5 through 9, climb the vine. So she's going to go up to the next 10, which is 40, 640. And then 27 rounded to the nearest 10 would be.
I'm still a little confused.
That's okay. I'll reassign you the rounding lesson and that's the work you're going to do. Okay, Selena or Savannah. Selena, do you need me to reassign the rounding lesson? Or do you feel like you have it? Can you tell me what 27 rounded to the nearest 10 is? Okay, I'm going to reassign the rounding to the nearest 10 to both of you, and then I'm going to reassign.
I couldn't hear you.
Can you round 27 to the nearest 10 for me?
So 47. 27. 200.
So 27 is going to round to what, Athena? It's going to round to. Going to round to 30, right? And then we add 640 plus 30 equals what, Charlotte?
670.
670. Okay. So Charlotte and Athena, I'm going to give you this follow-up work. It'll be up. I don't think I'm going to have time before my last lesson. So it'll be up sometime around noon. Okay. And then Selena and Savannah, be watching for that. I'm going to give you rounding to the nearest 10. Okay. All right. Gotta stop it now so I can convert this before the next meeting, but I'll see you guys at 1 o'clock if you can. At 1 o'clock for the great lesson.
Bye.
Bye.